The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Indeed, you're in listen-only mode. I am assuming you can all hear me. This should be working, or working fairly well. Everybody good? Everybody can hear me? You don't really have to interact with me. This isn't a recording. This isn't Webinar Jam. For those of you who know about that kind of stuff. I just want to make sure you can hear me. So, hi everybody. My name is Lee Honish. I am here to fuel you and shift you into a dynamic new world of working with homeowners that have missed payments. That's it. That's the bottom line. And there's a lot of terminology, right? So let's get a lot of misconceptions out of the way before I explain who I am. When I say missed payments, I am talking more than 90 days delinquent. There is a specific reason. At 91 days at 5 p.m., you're 90 days late. And when that happens, that's when the actual foreclosure process starts across the country. That data point, okay, for a sake of discussion, that lead source is public information that all of you on this call can get your hands on, right? So the only question is, do these people convert into listings? And the answer is yes, right? Let's just go with a low number of 50%, right? It's actually much higher depending on the market, but between 50 and 85% of people who miss at least 3 full payments are not going to pay. And that's just a fact. So the trick is to get you face to face in a market where everybody else is scrambling to find listings, right? So we got to be heads up about that and work smarter, not harder, and get face to face with homeowners that have missed payments. And the terminology, just so we're all on the same page. When you say default in the wonderful world of banking, that means somebody who's missed a payment. They are in default. Doesn't mean foreclosure. I don't know where that started in real estate. I've never figured it out. I've been in the industry for 30 years and it's very frustrating for me. Pre-foreclosure, distressed, short sales, with equity, without equity, doesn't matter. The trick is to meet homeowners that have missed payments, create a relationship, and get face to face with them and get the listing. At the end of the day, that's what this webinar is about. That's what we're going to talk about. And we will talk about real meat in just a moment. For those of you who don't know me, I bet you're a little bit like me. You got a family of your own. I am a divorced single dad. That is my daughter, Mackenzie, on the screen. And she would absolutely die if any human being knew that I had this photo or I was using it repeatedly in a webinar. But I will bet that you guys are a little bit like me. Real estate is the greatest thing in the entire world, right? It creates freedom. It allows us to have free time with our families. My life is structured around picking my daughter up. She's color guard. So it's about waiting and picking her up from school and taking her to color guard. And, you know, that's the point I am in my life with my daughter. And I want to share that with you. I have been in real estate and banking for the last 30 years. I started as an 18-year-old. It's actually 32 years. Sorry. Get my age correct. So, you know, you don't have to fact check me. I started at 18 years old, working for my father. Doing asset management and foreclosure. And the first lesson that I learned, and I'm going to teach this to all of you, and it's a truism in asset management and in real estate and working with people who miss payments. People who don't pay, don't pay. I asked a question very naively when I was 18 and I started in this industry. Why don't we just rent back to the people that have missed payments, right? Foreclose on them and turn them into renters, right? They're good people. And my father told me, people who don't pay, don't pay. And that's why you evict them. That's why you clean up the house. And that's why you sell it again. And we did have an REO market up until about 10 years ago. Then things dramatically changed. Now, the reason I'm sharing all of that with you is to give you my background and understand how we got here and why I focus my marketing on distressed properties, right? So let's take it from the beginning. I've worked for Beneficial of California. I've worked for Homecomings that turned into GMAC Homecomings. Then I got a real estate license. Then I became a realtor and an investor and a developer. I've actually built houses. I've done all of that in my career, but because of my unique set of qualifications, I was hired by IndyMac and started off in home construction lending and asset management, doing that for a short period of time during the building boom. Then the market turned, or a divorce in my life, or whatever the case. And I wound up working in the HELOC department right as the market collapsed in 2006. I know whatever market you're in, it might have been a little later, but there were places like Cleveland that actually showed the signs first. Like, we knew it was happening when those markets started to collapse. We saw a jump in activity of short sales, right? And nobody knew what a short sale was. All we knew was we didn't have enough to pay off our lien. People wanted to do escrows and sell their houses that were actively in foreclosure. And that's when they brought in asset managers and guys like me that could start to make decisions and negotiate and try to get the best dollar for our division. I was the head of loss mitigation for IndyMac's HELOC division till 2007, when the files started to come up, when it started to get really intense. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is I did that just about till the bank went under. They offered a really good layoff round, and someone asked me to do a seminar in San Diego in front of 1,000 real estate agents for a title company and explain a bank process. So I worked for a company called Short Sale Genius, and I went across the country for 3 years, and I taught everybody how to do short sales. And a lot of the organizations and things you saw spring up from that were from my educational process. And if you are somebody who got to see one of those back in the day, congratulations. I hope you closed a deal. I hope it was beneficial to all of you. But in 2010, my daughter got old enough to know that I was missing. And that was a big deal to me, right? I only have one child. And the first time she screamed and cried the minute I left the house to go away for a couple of weeks to speak, that was kind of the end for me. So in 2010, I sat down and I focused on, how do I stay at home? How do I spend more time with my daughter? How do I get listings? The bottom line, how do I get listings? I want to get back into real estate. I want to find deals. So everything that I'm going to share with you today that I have worked on over the last now 9 years has been focused on working with homeowners that have missed payments. I have traveled all over the country. I've seen everybody else's program. I've seen all the different approaches. And I can safely share this with you before we begin the webinar. You don't need to be an expert in the foreclosure process. You don't need to be an expert on short sales. You need to have the ability to, create a relationship with a homeowner and give them good advice. That's the bottom line. I realize that it's guys like me and B of A and Wells and Chase and we're the ones who chased real estate agents away, right? We turned off the REO pipeline. We scared away real estate agents. They actually hate anything to do with homeowners that have missed payments. And I get it. Short sales burned a lot of people. You put in a lot of time and a lot of effort and you didn't get anywhere. Cool. That's not the case here. All right. What's happening in 2019 is very straightforward. They are homeowners making very bad decisions. They have equity. They don't have equity. It doesn't really matter. I think it is heartbreaking to me as a father that somebody who has equity allows their house to be foreclosed upon without consulting with a realtor who's an advocate that can actually help them and give them good advice, right? That's the state of the environment right now. And that number's going up, right? So we need to look at all the contributing factors behind that, and we will. So you guys know what today's schedule is like. I'm going to keep an eye on my watch, all right? I'm going to show you how to make a list of distressed property owners, how to go out, it's missing the word, how to out marketing. Go out and do marketing. Terrible. Proofread your own slides. And then we'll talk a little bit about conversion. All right. To get us to that point, you need to understand where we are right now and where we are in the last quarter and where we're going next year. All right. So I want you guys to imagine, right? It's 2006 and you watch a webinar with somebody who tells you that home sales are in a slump and not moving, right? And that the equity that there's negative equity in home. What does that mean? That means people's houses are worth less than what's owed on them. Does that make sense? Right? And then I want you to imagine a growing trend of fraud, because that's a factor, and that's what contributes to a slide in foreclosure rates. What you're looking at are last quarter's updates. Okay. So if you think something dramatically has happened in this first quarter or going to happen in this first quarter, other than more of this, look closely at that number, at the number of homes in negative equity, 4 million. That's a really high number. Okay. That is a very real thing that is happening in the market. And the amount of fraud that was committed because we overvalued houses is very high. We don't have Q4 numbers yet. They won't be out till the end of the month, but I assume that it will continue to increase. You already know the struggles to try to get a listing right now. You already know that the market's overvalued. Okay. These are very serious factors. So if you're a homeowner who's missed payments and these are the things weighing you down on your mind, this is what easily causes a slide and an increase in foreclosure. Does that make sense? Does that make sense for everybody? So how do you get face to face with people like that? Well, most people in real estate focus on 4 methods of marketing, right? They either believe in some kind of secret sauce to an online web funnel, they'll door knock, they'll cold call, or they'll send mailers. The reason I'm telling you that, what you're going to learn here today in just a few moments is how to do all of that. Let me rewind to this question from Dawn real quick, just quickly. She asked a good question. Does that number include all the reverse mortgages that are way upside down? No, it does not. And just as an update, because I talked about this yesterday on a podcast, and if any of you want to go listen to that podcast, go to www.honish.com and you can listen to yesterday's podcast. But I talked about this. Reverse AMs have increased by so mortgage apps, right? So reverse AMs dropped by 30% because of all of the issues that they have. So they dropped, origination on reverse AMs dropped by 30%, and loan origination in general, these are yesterday's numbers, dropped by 10%. And that's why we saw such a dramatic drop in interest rates being offered right now in what I call the first quarter of the new year. Like, it's kind of a desperation ploy by the banks. They need to keep lending money to make the economy keep going, right? Banks do really stupid things when they need to make money, like lend money at an incredibly low rate, or as they did in previous markets, drop the lending standards so ridiculously low that anybody with a FICO score can buy a $500,000 house. And that's what contributes to the downfall of a market. I don't know if we're at the top or on the backside or on a plateau of the current market. Okay. I can tell you this historically. We are way up at the top. Okay. Where it turns, I do not know, but I can tell you this for the first month, and based on the statistics I have in front of me, we are seeing an increase in foreclosure activity. People who have missed payments has jumped dramatically already in the first couple of weeks of 2019. And that's something to keep an eye on. You as real estate professionals, I don't care if you're a realtor or an investor on this call, I'm talking to all of you. It is a very large lead source. I do not personally believe any of you can pull a auction or sale date or a notice of default or a list pendants list for your city. And I'm talking in national terms, by the way, for your city, and tell me that there are more expired opportunities than there are people that have missed payments. You just simply can't do it. The numbers don't lie. There are more people who miss payments than there are expireds. Okay. And that's just a statistical fact. I'm just trying to give you on this call the best possible chance to get listings on a consistent basis in 2019 based on the data. And here's why. Most people in real estate either spend their time, right, depending on the report you read, 50 to 85% of people who are buying or selling a home go online, right? So we start to buy into these really high-end ad campaigns on Facebook, right? And compete with Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Purple Brick, people that have already controlled and dominated those markets and paying a larger amount of money. The three other ways that are focused on in real estate, and it's a historical 32-year-old fact for me, right, is door knocking, cold callers, and mailers, right? That's all everybody does to get face-to-face with homeowners. When you are talking about doing niche marketing for people who've missed payments, they have very unique principles behind them. They're immune to door knocking, cold calling, and mailers. Not to mention, most people don't even approach them. David asks, will we be getting a copy of this recording call? Yeah, you will. I know I talked fast, David. So if you are struggling to get listings in the current market, and if you are willing to accept some, if not all of the factors making real estate difficult in 2019, I would like to suggest for you a method that is provided for me and for my family, and that is niche marketing for people who have missed payments. When I say niche marketing, there are only 3 niches in real estate, okay? Those 3 niches are pretty straightforward, okay? They are probate, divorced, and missed payments, or pre-foreclosure or distress, right? I'm going to keep saying missed payment because it's the simplest terminology, okay? Those are the 3 niches that are out there for all of you. They are public information. You can get your hands on it. And it's a very straightforward data starting point. Does that make sense? So I can tell you the inherent problems with divorce, since I'm divorced and I have worked with divorce clients. It's very hard to get 2 sides to agree on a transaction. I think it's hard to get a listing when 2 people aren't on the same page about selling a house. That's actually happening right now for us in our company. She wants to sell and move closer to a school. He likes the fact the house is fixed up and it doesn't really affect him. So he's not on the same page and he's not pushing to sell the house. I'm sure you've all encountered that. The other is probate. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am really against probate. The only people who make money in a probate transaction, in my humble opinion, are attorneys. And attorneys often just pick their buddies as the real estate agent. I can't understand why people hunt for probate listings, or why probate seminars, webinars are so popular. And they will be in 2019. I get why people don't want to work with homeowners that have missed payments. We've talked about all the issues. I'm just going to sound like a broken record at this point on that topic. So I can understand why everybody's down on that topic. But going after the single hardest, I would tell somebody to go after an expired before I told them to go after probate. They're just time consuming and they are very difficult. I don't have those issues. I have been working and getting distressed property listings now for the last 9 years with this method that I'm going to show you. It is a proven method. It's really simple, and it's a 3-step process to get listings. So don't worry. I'm going to show you the solution that I personally use for niche marketing for distressed properties that will create an endless supply of listings if you choose to work in this group. But don't take my word for it. This is Randy Kishore, who moved from Central California to Orange County, and within 3 weeks got 3 listings totaling over $75,000 in commission using Monster Marketing. And Monster Marketing works, so just do it. That is the name of my process. I'm sure some of you have seen the emails. So I don't even know if you can imagine, well, in Don's case, can you imagine moving from one market to another without a lead and getting started immediately, right? That's what we're talking about. How do I get immediate action? And I'm telling you that door knocking, cold callers, and mailers don't provide that. And I'm going to show you that process. So here are the 3 steps. Feel free to write them down. I'd like to ask you all a favor and forget everything you know about really, really hard marketing. This is really, really simple. Write down these 3 steps. I'm going to give you my formula. It is simple. So here are the 3 steps. Step 1, we're going to identify, find those who need to list and sell their home that have actively missed payments. Step 2, I'm going to show you how to do monster marketing. Go out, put it up. Simple. Really simple. I can't stress how simple it is. And step 3, list, right? Meet with the homeowner's guarantee. I'm sure you guys are aware of this. The only thing that is guaranteed that I have seen in any marketing approach is a phone call. What we're talking about is guaranteed face-to-face results. This is a proven, tested method. Don't take my word for it. This is Steve Hawks, one of the top real estate agents in Las Vegas, Nevada. He called Monster Marketing one of the most effective systems on the market. Anybody can reach people. With this system, you can connect with people. You can reach 1,000 homeowners a week, but what good is it if you don't connect? And I agree. Update from Don. Yeah, and all I'm doing is pulling MMM and pre-foreclosures. Right. It makes no difference to meet them. You need to get face-to-face and connect with them, and that's what we're going to focus on. All right? So if you imagine being one of the top, or if you're a beginner, I am telling you the approach I'm about to give you is going to get you right into the mix of things. All right? So here is my formula. It is the one I run on a weekly basis, and I will share it with you. It is called my distress listing formula. I am going to create a list of 36 homeowners that have missed payments. I expect to get a response rate of 6 homeowners. That means I expect 6 calls, right? And because of the process that I'm going to share with you, I expect 50% conversion to face-to-face rate. If this sounds insane, it is not. Okay? 36, 6 will call, 3 appointments. Got it? And this way I can generate 1 consistent listing per month from distressed listings. You can ramp it up. You can make it higher. It's about meeting with more homeowners each and every week. But as I said, as a divorced dad and as a guy with a coaching group and as a guy who's trying to live life and have a life, right? I physically put out my own marketing that I'm about to share with you. Meet with the homeowner and do the conversion. I'm lazy. Let me just be brutally honest. I'm lazy. Okay. So I want to know what's the least amount of work for the best possible result. I'm not going to lie. I'm in Southern California. So 1 listing a month generates 6 figures for me without too much effort. Does that make sense? So it's a nice way to supplement my income. I do have a coaching program and I do have other funnels that I do, right? I produce a lot of podcasts and audio content and I get asked to speak. So, but I never want to take my toe out of the water. The one thing I've learned about being at the bank is never take your toe out of the water in real estate. I'm sure you guys have all seen this. You get up and running, you've got listings coming in, and the minute you stop and try to restart, it's nearly impossible, right? You've lost your referrals, you've lost your leads, you've lost everything. What I'm teaching you is something you can do on a weekly basis to supplement whatever else you do. I don't care if your big thing is door knocking and expireds and can't. Good for you. Really fantastic. I think it's a lot of work and I think it's a really low payoff. I know that if I put out 36 marketing pieces per week, I'm going to have 3 face-to-face appointments. It's a simple, easy formula to follow. So let's get started, shall we? Hopefully now that you've changed your mindset and you have decided to work with homeowners that have missed payments, you need to easily select homeowners that have missed payments. I bet you guys didn't know this, but this is a real webinar where we're actually going to do real stuff. Most people don't do this stuff. They don't do real case studies and they don't do real work. First and foremost, let me know if you guys are all with me by a show of hands. That's why it's on the screen. Let me check in with all of you first. This is for real. It's live. Thank you, Don. I just like to see that you guys are all paying attention and dialed in because I'm going to go step by step right here. Got it? Thanks, everyone. You're doing good. Do you want me to do the kooky webinar jam thing and say push the number 9 to let me know you're all listening? I don't know how people get away with recorded content and want you to believe it's live. If you hear me taking a break, it's because I drink coffee. All right, great. Good job, everyone. Those of you who don't want to raise your hand and be too cool for the room, good for you too. All right. So step 1 is to find people that have missed payment. All right, I'm going to teach you thank you, Kevin. You're not too cool for the room. 3 ways to find homeowners that have missed payments. Got it? And I'm going to check with you at the end of each step and see if you understand it. 3 ways. First way, contact your title rep or closing officer if it's not a RESPA violation in your state. Okay? I'm in California. That means I can't ask title companies for donuts or data. Got it? For those of you in California, that's a good joke. So what does that mean? I want data. I want the names of public information. And in the old days in California, you used to be able to get your hands on it. For those of you in the rest of the country, like Don, you're in Dallas, Texas, right? You can go to a title rep. For those of you on the East Coast that have never heard the term title rep, it also means your closing attorney. And some of you in some fantastic markets, your MLSs tap into public data, which is fantastic. My screen is not frozen. I haven't moved forward yet. Okay. It should be a picture of me pointing to the hands up button and hands down button. So you should be okay. I haven't gone. If you aren't on that screen, then you have an issue. All right. The second way to get your hands on data, all right, is to publicly go and get that data, right? You go down to the county recorder's office or the local courthouse, however it works in your community. Public data. Can't stress this enough. For those of you who've worked expireds like me, you understand that people who automatically become expired probably get about 30 phone calls, a ton of mail, right? And they want to know how that information got out. Like it's their number one question. When you're talking to people who've missed payments, it's public information. There's a very specific reason for that when they're in foreclosure. It's to kind of force their hand and do something with their creditor or the bank in this particular case. That's to your advantage, right? It's public information. How'd you get my information? It's public information. Got it? I'm going to kind of give pro tips as we go along. The third way to get your hands on data, depending on where you are in the country, there are two websites that I recommend. The first is PropertyRadar. And the second is RealtyTrac.com. Okay? These two websites provide data across the country. If you're on the West Coast, if you're in California, Nevada, Arizona, Florida, I recommend PropertyRadar. Got it? If you are on anywhere else, I recommend RealtyTrac. Got it? Those are the two. They're the ones I recommend. I don't recommend anybody else. I realize I've said the word recommend, which means if you have a bad time with either of these companies, you're going to come back to me and give me a hard time. That's always the problem with doing a webinar. I'm going out on a limb for these two companies. And I will safely say I will go out on a limb for these two companies. My experience and my use of pulling data for them has been very good historically. So you log in and you pull data, right? You need an account. If you don't have an account, you can set up free trials right now with both of them, which is phenomenal. RealtyTrac has a 3-day. By the way, I don't make any money from either of these companies. So don't think that I'm pushing you into either of these sources. RealtyTrac has a 7-day trial. Okay. RealtyTrac was the one that I showed the most on my webinars by far, because I like the way that they presented their data previously. However, lately I've been using PropertyRadar, and on my coaching calls, I've been using PropertyRadar to run my searches. Now, I don't care which one you use. I don't care if you ask for a title company. What I'd like you to do is write down the following. If you're paying any attention at all, I want you to write this down. Here is what my search is for. I look for single-family residences or condos. Don't get crazy. I'm not into commercials or multi-units. SFR or condo, right? Second thing I want is owner-occupied property. It must be owner-occupied. Underline it. Circle it. Put an exclamation point next to it. Owner-occupied. Got it? Third, I'm going to remove bankruptcies if I can. One system allows it, the other one doesn't allow it, but I'm going to remove bankruptcies. I'm going to remove properties that are already listed. One system allows it, the other one doesn't. That's why I can only do one general webinar. Is this making sense to everybody? Don, am I making sense? You're in charge of my ADD. Lastly, okay, good. Lastly, the one other piece or data point that I really try to focus on, I try to focus in a very unique and specific area. I don't care if it's high end or low end, median, my experience, median priced houses. Does everybody know what median is? The midpoint of pricing for that area. Convert the best. But that doesn't exclude me from tagging high end, and it doesn't exclude me from tagging low end. That's the term we use when we talk about putting up marketing. But it doesn't, those two things don't exclude me. But if I'm looking at a lot of property, right, and I got to narrow my list down, I'm going to run a search and see what the middle price is for that area, and I'm going to focus on those properties. Which one allows delaying bankruptcies, etc.? Okay, so Dave, RealtyTrac allows me to exclude bankruptcies. And PropertyRadar doesn't have that feature, but it allows me to exclude properties that are already listed. Go figure. You think they would be both, right? And again, it's based on public records that are updated by a title plant that they get on a feed. I don't want to get into the semantics of how crazy the data feeds are for these two people, but all right. Now here's the question I get all the time. Auction date, sale date, notice of default date, less pendants date, how far back, how far forward. And again, I want you to write this down and circle it. I don't care. Pull it all. Got it? For those of you that already work in the field of missed payments, it is my personal experience that it doesn't matter. Some will get suspended, some will get pulled back, some will get loan mods. Doesn't matter. Can't trust the data. Right? Don't ever trust the data. Number one question I get on a coaching call each and every week is a pro tip. Lee, how close to the sale date or the auction date do you pull data? Pull it all. Pull it all. Everybody got it? Does everybody understand the data search? When you export it or you get it from a title company, it's going to look just like this. This is a data pull for the city of Covina. Everybody good? Show of hands. David's good. Dave is good. David and Dave are good. Show of hands. I want to check in with you. Okay, so you guys can all do this. This is all very real world doable stuff for you guys. All right, good. You're in the home stretch already. Good job, Kevin. All right, so this is what it looks like. Same thing you'll get from, this is a PropertyRadar pull from 2015. I intentionally pull older data. I have discovered on this webinar that if I use updated data, somebody will just use the list that's on the screen. That's very lazy for free data. All right, so the first column is the PropertyRadar ID. I don't need it. I don't care. I like the APN number. That's my favorite data point for keeping track of properties. So I keep it. I don't care about the county. I need the address, the city, state, zip. I don't even really need the state. And I don't need the owner full name. Everything I'm doing, you guys should be able to do. Owner first name, owner last name. I don't care about spouses. I don't care about second owners. I don't care about year built, square footage. Now, by the way, if you're an investor on this call, there is enough data here to decide if you want to work with free and clear or underwater properties, and you can tweak searches on both PropertyRadar and RealtyTrac. My advice, don't get caught up in that. Pull all the data. All this other stuff is what makes getting data so difficult. All these little data points will screw up a database. I don't want to get, real technical because I'm a marketing guy, but all these stupid columns cause data points and they screw up databases. Now, what are we left with? A list of homeowners that have missed payments in a specific city. And I have 35 of them. I have their APN and I have their address and I have their name. You're not going to get phone numbers. You're not going to get emails. And even if it was there, it's when they purchased the home. So God knows if the information's any good. Can everybody by a show of hands get to this point in pulling data or believe they can do it? You guys are doing good. Good job. Fantastic. By a show of hands, how many of you are actually surprised that there's real content in this webinar? Thank you for being honest. Sorry. I've been on first of the year, I always watch webinars, and I've been on a lot of Webinar Jam webinars that are just brutal. Brutal. By the way, if it says Webinar Jam at the bottom, you're watching a recording. GoToWebinars are the only, you can do recorded on GoToWebinar, but it's such a cost, it's ridiculous. All right, let's move on now to step 2 of the process, shall we?
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Hey, thank you, Alexa. I don't even know what that's about. Did I say her name? Anybody catch that? Okay. Step 2. I'm going to go out and put the monster marketing up on the individual properties. Okay. I'm not going to show you my marketing piece. Don't ask. I get lots of people who ask, okay? But I'll bet you guys are a little bit like me and get scared meeting potential clients for the first time. You should, even if you're experienced. Don't worry. This method is permission-based. A man I'd like to call mentor and friend, Seth Godin, by the way, go buy his new book. It's fantastic. Wrote a book back in the 90s called PermissionBased Marketing that helped me create monster marketing that I'm going to share with you right now. I'm going to actually explain how it works, right? I want the homeowner to invite me over to have a conversation. So let's go back to our list. These people don't know me. They are scared. The bank is foreclosing on them. They're aware of that, okay? They don't want me showing up at the door. They don't want me knocking on it. They don't want me calling them. They're not going to answer the phone anyway. And they don't read their mail. Fortunately, most real estate agents won't be competing, so you don't have to worry about them being inundated with information, right? They're basically sitting there believing whomever they've talked to about the process. Does that make sense to everybody so far? I'm not trying to be cryptic. I just want you guys to understand the mindset of a mispayment homeowner. Does that make sense to all of you? Hopefully. So I am going to go put marketing on their property. I use a program called Root Excel to get face-to-face to go put my marketing up, okay? Root Excel is free for the first 10 or 20 addresses. After that, it's a paid website. So here's what I'm going to do. As I said, as a divorced dad, I'm on my daughter's schedule. I only put out marketing on Monday and Tuesdays for about an hour at a time, hour and a half, right? And I generally put out 12 marketing pieces. So I pull 12 addresses. Is that right? 2 sheets. Yeah, 12. Copy those addresses. I'm going to click on the import button. I'm going to right click and paste those 12 addresses. Click the import button. It's going to put them on a map for me. By a show of hands, you guys understand this part of it. You guys are doing good. All right. Good. Good, Kevin. And D. Venturelli. Did I get it right? If I have to go by the last name, it's always difficult. Thank you. I butcher names. Professional hazard. All right, so I've got addresses, right? I'm going to click Find Route. It'll find a route from point A to B in the most efficient way necessary. All right. Now I can go out in an hour, hour and a half. And thank you, Norman. I can put up 12 marketing pieces. Got it? That's what I do. Now, I am physically going to drive to their home. Let's zoom in on one. I have created a marketing piece called the Monster Marketing Piece. It is printed out on Avery Label 6464s. I'll even show you what they look like. You can order them on Amazon. This is what they look like. They come 6 to a page. You guys have all seen these, right? There, you put them into your printer and you print out. My marketing piece prints out on one of these little repealable labels. Got it? Then I'm going to go over to these houses. I'm going to drive house to house to each one. I always wonder how far you can zoom on this. I've never tried to zoom this hard. That's it. Okay. Well, I'm going to drive to 654 East Tudor. I'm going to get out of my car. My label is designed with information to prompt the homeowner to call for more information. Has their name and a tracking number and a phone number. Okay. I'm going to place that marketing piece. We call it tagging in our group. I just said this on the coaching call yesterday. I don't know where the term tagging came from other than an Avery 6464 looks like a name tag. So we call it tagging. So I get out of the car and I'm going to go place the marketing piece on either the front door, the garage door, or the outside of the mailbox. It needs to be in plain visible sight where they can find it. By design, that marketing piece is going to prompt the homeowner to call for more information. Remember, my goal is not to meet with the homeowner. I want them to call in. Got it? This creates a higher conversion and a better face-to-face conversion. I've been doing this for 9 years. Follow along with the system. So I'm putting the marketing up on their house. Okay? My goal is to get 36 out in a week. This marketing piece is going to generate a 20% call rate. I have a call center script that converts 50%. Okay? So they're going to call in based on the marketing piece that was placed on their property, our patented monster marketing piece. And they call in. The script simply explains that you want to go over and talk to the homeowner about their loan mod and alternatives to foreclosure. That's a very simplified way to explain the scripting. And that we need, they're also going to capture their email address and their cell phone number. And then they're going to schedule an appointment when they say yes, right? Permission based. Homeowner takes the action. They believe that they're in control. Yeah, I really want to meet with Lee. Well, Lee is available on Thursdays and Saturday mornings. Here are the times he's available. When can I schedule you to meet with Lee? That's how it works, right? So now I've created an appointment based on my free time. I'm working smarter, not harder, right? More the 4-hour work week for all of you. And I'm not giving up my free time with my daughter. I'm not chasing my leads. I'm not chasing my tails. I'm not knocking on doors. I'm not chasing down the leads. They're calling me to take action. They're inviting me over, permission-based, to have a conversation with them. By a show of hands, does that make sense to everybody? Good. Good group. So, I've done all that. I got to go meet with the homeowners, right? The one thing I've done successfully in the last 9 years for me and for others is to get people face to face, and I guarantee that result, right? But here's what I've discovered, that there are two types of people in real estate. There are those who work insane hours doing the same thing over and over again, looking for a result from really bad marketing, right? Like they feel if they work really hard, somehow that justifies the no payoff for some reason. In my opinion, it's just the definition of insanity. And two, there are the top producers, the people that always have listings. I'm going to tell you their secret. They are the people who take advantage of proven systems, right? Or they've created their own system. They follow it and they do it like a robot each and every week. And that's the truth. When I meet with the homeowner, and the reason I work with distressed properties is because there are only two things that happen when I meet with them. Okay? When I go meet with a homeowner, I'm either going to immediately get a listing because they've already exhausted all of their choices. That's legit. Or, as most of you who work with people that have missed payments, I'm going to go and meet with a homeowner who's going to basically tell me they've got it all taken care of. Those are the only two things that are going to happen. Got it? That's it. So when we talk about scripting, conversion, and delivery of information, and all of that coaching stuff that you guys are hearing in your brokers meetings, that when you cut down the number of objections to 2, okay, literally in this case to 1, okay, it allows you the ability to get more listings. Does that, by a show of hands, make sense? That's just a data thing. Okay, good. Thanks. For those of you that get it, that's really important here. You're going to meet people that are literally ready to list immediately when you meet with them face to face. Okay. The other thing that's going to happen, and happen more frequently, I'm going to be honest, I've got it all taken care of. Well, that's fantastic. Is anybody interested in learning the quick, easy, painless conversion? Don, you're already pulling this type of information, right? For those of you that you want to learn the easiest conversion on the planet, ready? You're going to like this. Feel free to write it down. I'm glad you got it taken care of, but public records still indicate that you're actively in foreclosure, and you really need to check with your bank. And we need to, if you'd like, I'd like to sit down with you and talk with you, and you can call your bank and confirm that information. But more importantly, what's your plan B if you don't have this all taken care of? I mean, what are you going to actually do if you are actively in foreclosure and what the information you have is wrong? I mean, seriously. What is your plan B is the most powerful question in the entire world. I agree with you, Don. By far, what's your plan B? If you create doubt, right? The only thing you're going to be able to achieve at the front door, there are 3 things to getting a listing. I'm going to share with you my secret of 30 some odd years in the business. Trust, likability, expertise. Any one of those 3 things will get you a listing. Generally speaking, trust and like will get you the most listings above expertise. We all know this. People you know around you are getting more listings who probably, in the politically correct term, couldn't shine your shoes in this real estate industry, right? That's because trust and like are higher than expertise. So when you go to the front door, if you can do something that disputes anything the bank has said, anything their attorney has said, any of those things, right? You are creating more trust and more like. Let me see where I am in the webinar. Does that make sense to all of you? Show of hands, you guys are all good? That's how I get my listings. That's literally step by step. Cool. Again, it's literally that simple to get a listing. This is Nino Sabroso, who broke down the plan B at one of our events. I want you guys to picture a endless supply of leads and listings. Nino Sabroso got 4 appointments during his first week of using Monster Marketing. 2 of those appointments turned into listings within 10 days. Doesn't matter where you are, the system works. We've tested it across the country, and it's consistent. And it is very easy and simple. I really need you guys to get it out of your head and forget everything you know about hard marketing. Step 1, identify, make a list of people who have missed payments. Step 2, do Monster Marketing. Go out, put up the marketing. And step 3, meet with homeowners guaranteed. And for those of you that are brand new, just looking for a way in, allow me to introduce Susan Sayedi, who is a brand new broker. Followed the system and in her first week got 5 face-to-face appointments. The second week she got 7. After 3 weeks in the program, she got her first listing. I don't know what you guys were doing in your first 3 weeks in the business. I was knocking doors. I wish I had created Monster Marketing when I first got my license. Would have saved me a lot of aggravation. And I'll say it again. Put out 36 marketing pieces. 6 people will call. 3 people will invite you over for a conversation. We are the only system in real estate right now, not promising clicks, phone calls, leads that need to be aged. I guarantee face-to-face results. I will put you physically face-to-face with people who've missed payments, who statistically aren't going to pay, that are going to have to sell their house. So you need to have a sort of radical and dynamic shift, right? And when you talk about that, it's borderline a supernatural experience. This is Marianne Schmelz, who was a cold caller and a door knocker. Having a homeowners call her instead of her chasing her leads was an absolute turnaround in her business. Yes, I left out the 360. Should be 180. Does everybody know that? Oh, well. She went from 0 listings to 17 thanks to monster marketing. And I agree. Now, I would like to give you guys 3 options at this point in the webinar. Number 1, you can use mailers, door knocking, and cold calling to get very few leads and compete with every other agent in your market. I've given you enough information to send you on your way. 2, do nothing. Stay exactly where you are before I found you. Or 3, I would like to give the opportunity to a few of you to give monster marketing a guaranteed try. Just do what's going to be easiest for you. This is my favorite part. Are any of you interested in learning about the monster marketing system and joining the program? Depends on the number of hands on whether or not I keep going. All right. Fair enough. That's enough. All right. So I'm going to show you what's included with the monster marketing system and our guarantee and how it all works. All right. I will go through it. Won't take more than 10 minutes. I don't do an hour and a half of upsell. I saw a 2.5 hour webinar. First hour was fluff. Hour and a half on the backside was all upsell. This is 10 minutes. So I appreciate all of you for staying on and listening to the offer. And then I'll take questions at the end. So first and foremost, included with the monster marketing system is the complete monster marketing guide, the complete step-by-step monster marketing manual, where to start, what to use, what to say, when to say it. Monster is an out-of-the-box system. There is no need to invent or add anything. It is step-by-step. It is ready to use. This is an out-of-the-box solution. There is no need to invent or add anything to our program. The complete monster marketing archives. We have been doing this now for 9 years. We have 1,000+ hours of archival footage. All of our past coaching calls, past, present, and future will be archived. All of our live stream videos from our events, all of our training videos, all of our webinars, anything we've done on a coaching call, and as included, all of the live events I archive as well. Let's talk about the monster marketing piece as we go step by step, right? So you pull the data, you get the information, you're going to print them out on these Avery Label 6464s. Well, Monster is a marketing approach and system. Part of it is actual marketing pieces tested by hundreds of real estate agents and investors across the country. We have 3 different tested marketing pieces for you to use. Easy to print out, easy to create, and easy to use. As I said before, they have been tested by hundreds of agents and investors, and they have been perfected over the last several years to get you the best possible results. Those marketing pieces are going to force people to make a phone call. Those calls go into a call center. We have 2 different providers for you to choose from. On average, those providers cost $60 per month. That is an additional charge to the Monster program itself. You are on a personal and private contract. That means you put up marketing with your 800 number on it. Those are your leads. Nobody shares leads in my program. I want to make that abundantly clear. Now, the scripts they run are the ones that we have created. They capture all cell phone numbers of all callers. They capture email addresses. They set appointments based on your free time. And then they send that information to you, a complete transcript of the conversation to you in your email box. It's all automated. It's like Christmas morning. We monitor these systems. We keep track. We make sure that they're working and that they're in place. We have hired and fired many call centers throughout the years. Again, I don't make any money from these companies, and that way I can stay impartial to their selections. The Monster delivery device and delivery method. The Monster marketing piece would have little value if not for the way they are delivered. Both the marketing device and the delivery method are part of the Monster secret sauce, as I've laid out for you on the system. It is easy as I've laid out for you. It's easy to set up. It's easy to set up the marketing, and it's easy to set up the automated systems as well. You're going to go on appointments. I guarantee it, right? When you're going on your appointment, we don't want you to go empty-handed. We have put together monster delivery scripts and packages, which you can tweak and fit to your own niche and city and your area and the needs of your prospects, right? So we can customize them to each area. They've been tested for the last now 9 years. They're easy to learn, easy to print out, and easy to deliver tangible content that is beneficial to people who have missed payments. It's that simple. Now you're going to meet a lot of clients. We have created a monster follow-up sequencer. Follow-up is crucial, but following up efficiently is just as important. We have included our proprietary and tested follow-up sequence to convert all of your face-to-face meetings into listings or referrals. Easy email sequencing, easy voicemail sequencing, follow-up sequencing to convert all of your contacts. Okay, this is the stuff I use. We have a step-by-step. It's a 30-day follow-up. Just do the sequence. Okay, we tested it out with our students, and it generates one listing per month. This is the very easiest low end that I can recommend if you're lazy like me. It's the same one that I use. When you join the program, you will get a personal one-on-one coaching, just as important to the marketing, which is my end of the program. We do coaching, right? I get that. We do personal one-on-one coaching and mentoring. We give you a 1-hour startup coaching call to help you get your monster system up and running immediately. This is a $2,500 value by itself. Many of you know what one-on-one coaching in real estate costs and personal mentoring. And this is legit live on the screen. Personal one-on-one. We show you for your market how to pull data, then how to create the monster marketing pieces, then how to set up and deliver those monster marketing pieces. Then we create scripts for you personally, and we customize your own delivery packages, right? That's it. It's a replicating process. Then we will role play with you how to work on your scripts and role play with you on your conversions. Are any of these more? Yeah, they are available in Spanish. I do have them in Spanish, David. We do weekly coaching as well. Research has shown you have 90 seconds to build your credibility at the front door. We include specialized training to maximize those precious seconds and ace your appointments. Every week, every Wednesday at 10 o'clock, we do weekly group coaching. It is recorded. It is sent out. In fact, I just sent out yesterday's call to everybody today. They're also cataloged on our archives page, so there's tons of content on this. Every week for no additional fee. No additional fee. There is no monthly surcharge. This is easily $1,000 a year value. We do accountability, objection handling, data pulling. I talk about monster updates. Guest panelists. Next week, I'm going to have a pretty big name investor on to show you guys how to maximize distressed properties and get both ends of the transaction. We do actual case studies, which we did on yesterday's call. Again, if you want to go listen to yesterday's call and hear some insight and questions from my students, go to honish.com, click on the podcast. You'll be able to hear part of one of our coaching calls. Monster Marketing Mastermind coming up in February. We have a handful of live monster summits held each and every year in different cities. Each summit has a unique lineup of speakers who are experts in different areas of real estate marketing. Most monster marketing system owners get to attend these events at free and no charge. In my opinion, this is it's a priceless value. Live one-on-one. We're a mom and pop shop. There are 3 people who do all the coaching and all the marketing and all the training for you guys. We're not a big giant corporation. The 3 people you will meet when you join this program are all online. We all actively use the product. We go to the live events. We want you to meet with us. We want you to tell us what works and what doesn't. Okay. The events, when they're held in different cities, are live streamed. We do case studies. We have speakers. We do networking events within them, and they happen multiple times throughout the year. I think we did 3 last year. I think I was on the road about 4 times, and I met with coaching students all over the country. Whenever I do a live speaking event, or when David does a live speaking event, we try to meet with our coaching students at those live events after we're done as well. This isn't hands off, meet with, my assistant or whatever. This is a tangible thing that all of us who teach this use as well. Because you will be getting face-to-face, or we will refund 100% of your investment. This is a risk-free trial. Sorry, talking too much. Now, I'm not sure this is for all of you, but for those of you looking to ignite your listings in 2019 and increase the amount of money you can make and genuinely help people that are really in distress, I would like to offer you some bonuses on this webinar for attending. First and foremost, and the biggest bonus I think that we offer, 30 days of unlimited text and email support. You will have questions. So you get a live one-on-one, you get weekly group coaching, but what if you go out and you put up deals, tags, and you have face-to-face appointments, right? We just had somebody report that on Saturday they're going to have their first face-to-face appointment. Well, they, because they're in their first month, have the ability to text and email us questions while they're at their appointments, and we will answer them if we're available to answer them in real time. We try to do them in real time. I haven't seen an opportunity when we haven't, but we like to answer those questions so that you can convert. I want you guys to get listings, right? Bonus number 2, right? Every upgrade to the Monster system for life. No new scripts, new data types, new websites, and no monthly or annual renewal fee. This is my last webinar. I should have done it last year. I should have done it during the week. This is kind of my cutoff day. I'm literally 2 weeks behind into the new year. I'm changing the Monster price after this webinar, after this offer. And that's not a sales pitch. I'm just going to do an annual renewal fee. This is the last time I'm going to be offering people the ability, okay, to invest in the Monster Marketing Program at one set price. Sometime tomorrow, everything will be updated. There will be an annual renewal fee. It will match what we already offer online. Up until this point, my webinars have offered a one-time only investment fee. There have been we don't do upgrades. We don't create this isn't an a la carte program. When you're in my program, you're in my program for life. Okay. It's just that simple. When I'm done updating in the next 24 hours, there will be a renewal fee. Please keep that in mind for anybody who's on the fence, and don't come back to me and go, I was on the webinar. You were warned in advance, okay? You'll also get access to our private Facebook group. That's real-time networking, real-time solutions and support. I post the coaching calls in there. It's easy access to join. I can't make it any easier than that. And the final bonus, for the first 3 people who invest on this call, you'll get your coaching call within the next 24 hours. I want you to immediately start getting new listings. Please remember, number 1 agent in Las Vegas, Steve Hawks, calling the Monster Marketing System one of the most effective systems on the market. Anybody can reach people with this system. You can connect with people and reach 1,000. If you can reach 1,000 homeowners a week, but what good is it if you don't connect? And that's what this program's about. It's connecting and engaging with people that have missed payments. Nino Sabroso getting 4 appointments his first week, and 2 of those appointments turning into listings within 10 days. Immediately working as a brand new broker. Susan Sayedi got 5 face-to-face appointments her first week, 7 appointments her second week, and after 3 weeks in the real estate business, she got her first listing. Marianne Schmelz, who was a cold caller and a door knocker, having homeowners call her instead of her chasing her lead, was a complete turnaround. She went from 0 listings to 17. Again, that's the magic of permission-based marketing and the Monster Marketing System. And last but not least, Randy Kishore, moving from Central California to Orange County without any new leads. And in 3 weeks, he got 3 listings totaling over $75,000 in commission from Monster Marketing. It works. Just do it. So for all of you to take advantage right now of this special offer, trust our team to spoon feed you your next listing. I want you to open up a browser. I'm going to make this very simple. Don't let it be said. Don't come back to me. Don't send an email tomorrow when you get a go-to webinar follow-up. If you're watching this on YouTube as a replay down the road, Lee, how do I get that old price? I warned you, and this is really the advantage for the people that are on the webinar right now. You guys that are live, been raising your hand. Open a browser and type in www.leehonish.com. Okay? See if this actually works. It is a one-time only fee of $9.97. Again, type in www.leehonish.com. It will take you to a page on my website that hopefully, if I talk slow enough, it'll open up. At the top of the page is a webinar that you can click, watch, and replay. Scroll down. This is the application for Monster Marketing. There is a link to our refund policy because we do guarantee face-to-face. If you want to see that this is special pricing and that it's $9.97 with 50% off, there is the online link that will show you that it's literally double. That is the price it's going to be tomorrow. So all you do to enroll in the program is type in your name, email, phone number, push tab, give me all the bonus materials. Got it? Again, it's www.leehonish.com. Then your billing information, your street address, there is no address line 2. That goes to city. State. Country's my favorite. Country. I don't know why it makes me do country, but it does. It's just the way the form worked out. Okay? Then your credit card number, numbers only. Then your expiration date, numbers only. And then the CSS code on the back or the 4 digits on the front. Got it? Hit the submit button. At the top of the page, it will tell you, thank you. We will review the application and get back to you within 30 minutes. That's because I do it by hand. It's really important that I do it by hand because I don't trust automated systems with your information. I will immediately take your investment into the program, get it charged, get it all taken care of. You get a text, you get an email, and then I literally delete your information from my system. There is no record of it out there anywhere. Now, I don't know how much of a crazy person you are like me. I'm just sharing with you that that's the difference between me and everybody else. It's that I'm one of you, right? Imagine the impact you'll have, right? Working with people that are genuinely in distress that will help you and provide for your family and help people. I wish you all the success in the new year. I hope this webinar was helpful to anybody who watched it, and I wish you good listings.